I'm Tina, and today I'm going to make homemade Chile, which is a homemade fresh hot sauce or salsa that's used in home-style Mexican foods. It's part of the table, and when my mother-in-law cooked, it was part of what was on the table at every single meal was this Chile. And I'll be back and get the camera a little bit closer, and then I'll be back and show you how I do it. Thank you. All right, I'm back. Like I said, this is I'm going to make this today. Normally I do it in a blender, or food processor, but today I'm going to use the Metate, which is the traditional method of doing it, and this is the exact same type that my first mother-in-law used every day when she made hers. You start by boiling your peppers. We're going to use jalapenos, and I have boiled three jalapenos whole. And I'm going to put them and let them cool. I like to let them cool because I'm sensitive to the steam. Don't breathe the steam from that when they're boiling. I boiled them just covered them in water and boiled them for about 15 minutes. The steam coming up above that has that hot pepper in it, so don't ever breathe that, and don't let any children near it, because it's pretty dangerous stuff. It'll take your breath away. So don't get near that steam while you're boiling those chilies. Now I'm just gonna macerate them using this Metate. This is made out of I'm not sure, but it's almost like a volcanic rock because it's very porous. It's got lots of little holes in it, and so it was soft enough that this particular one, when I bought it, was already plain smooth. It had been worked so that it has a nice smooth surface on the inside, and you can find cheap ones at the flea markets, but they're not smooth inside. If that's the only thing that you can get, you can grind grains of rice in it. Just work and work, but it'll take you a long time to do it. So my suggestion would be, if you want one, to go ahead and look at the online Mexican grocery stores, and I'm sure that talk to them and see if the ones that they sell are already smoothed, so that they'll work for you. But this doesn't release anything into the food either. So it's not like using sandstone. If you're grinding, might actually cause some of that stone to be released. So this is hard enough that the act of simply grinding soft foods and these pieces against each other is not going to release this rock into your food. All right, I'm using my peppers whole with their seeds in them, and just depends on how hot you want it. I find that the big old jalapenos that they sell are really, I guess these have been bred for stuffing. They're not as hot as the plain old-fashioned jalapenos are, and so it takes a lot more peppers to get it super hot. And I'm going to work it so that I get this. Not trying to peel them or anything, just going to mash all that up together. And there's one more. And this is made fresh every day. I don't think you would want to can it, because I think that would change the flavor. My mother-in-law would make it. We all called her Mom. The whole family called her Mom. But even the grandchildren, she was Mom. And she would make this. She'd make enough for a day or two, and then as soon as it was gone, she'd make a fresh batch. So it's very different. It's got a different flavor than a canned salsa would have, or that one that had more tomato in it would have. I love this. I wish that I weren't so sensitive to the heat because it certainly adds a lot of flavor and nutrition to the foods. But the family would just, all right, now, what I'm going to do now, I've got my peppers all ground up, very nice and fine, and it's like a mush. Can you see that? Can you see that it's like a mush there? Let's see if I can get some up with this fork. Kind of show you. You know, it's pieces, but it's not too bad. All right, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of just plain canned tomato sauce. Now, I have fresh tomatoes, but the tomato sauce will make a difference in the way this tastes. And so I don't want to experiment right now with using fresh tomatoes, because the canned tomato sauce is what my mother-in-law used in hers, and so I want to make this identical to hers right now. Just about 2 tablespoons for those 3 peppers is all that I need of the. Maybe I'll add about another tablespoon. So maybe about a tablespoon of tomato sauce for each pepper that you're including in your mix. All right. Now the other thing is she kept the water that she had boiled those peppers in, and she would add a little of that water. Once she got it all finished, she'd start adding that water to get it exactly to thin it down to the right consistency, so that it is spoonable. And there you have it. That is how to make home-style, traditional Mexican chile. Spoon it onto any of the foods that you eat. Spoon it over your eggs in the morning, spoon it over your potatoes, over your beans, anything that you wanted to add some extra heat to. When I first entered the family and first became acquainted with all these Mexican foods, I was kind of surprised that there were very few vegetables, green vegetables or on the table. And I thought, how do people stay healthy, not getting the vitamins from those green vegetables? Until I started realizing the peppers and the tomatoes are such an important part of the diet. They're there at every meal, and so you get huge, massive amounts of vitamin C and other great vitamins and nutrients out of those simple homegrown ingredients. So it doesn't take a lot of variety. It just takes just the right kind, and these are full of it. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe. This is Tina. Have a great day. Bye. Well, I thought I was finished, but then I realized you guys may not know how to clean your metate in case you do decide to use one. So I wanted to show you how I do that. I'm just going to start by rinsing it. I'm not going to use any soap on this because of there's not ever any meat used in this. It's always only vegetables. And in fact, it's only this vegetable that I use. Only my tomato sauce and my peppers. I don't use this for anything else. But I'm afraid this soap might be pardon me, even just hot water brings that capsicum up and makes it hard for me to breathe. So I'm gonna lower the heat of my water just a little bit there, so that I don't get steam coming off of that to interfere with me. Because the hot water, truthfully, from this faucet is not going to get hot enough to sterilize anything. So it doesn't matter. Cold water won't cut grease, but I don't have any grease. So the hot water is enough to kind of vaporize that. The oils and the peppers and cause me problems, so all I'm doing is rinsing this thoroughly. I've got a regular vegetable brush, but I've discovered these little cheap nail brushes are actually most effective. I can really hold on to them easier. I can keep one by the sink. I can throw them out and get a new one, in the dollar bin. super quick. So these are what I like the best. So I just give them a good scrub. And want to be careful when you set it in your sink so that you're not scratching your sink with it, because this is really, like I said, it's volcanic rock, so it's very rough on the bottom. So you don't want to let that scratch your sink. You want to pick it up and set it down. You don't want to slide it anywhere. And I just keep it, set on a shelf in a decorative fashion when I'm not using it. It sits in the shelf along with some of my Mexican pottery that I don't use because those are old antique collectible things that I have. All right, and then I'm just gonna let that let that drain until it's completely dry. All right, thank you so much.